It's really leveraging it for the business, and then how do you make those, intelligent business decisions based off of data. I saw something about drones on the news the other day where like local departments are using them, and there's hubs throughout the city, and if they get a call, the drone can respond first. If you were, to give an advice to someone just starting in their journey, right? They have no history of surveillance, security, any of this stuff, and they want to just really, start implementing it. What would be your first things that you would help them or to get them started with?
What's going on, Mike?
Mr. John, nice to see you, my friend.
You too. It's been a busy year so far.
It has been, it has been. It's been a good year. Uh, just can't wait to see what the rest of 2026 brings, right?
Yeah, same here.
Okay, so I figured maybe do some quick intro.
Yeah,
So we are John DeVito. A little bit about yourself, the man, the myth.
yeah. John DeVito, regional sales manager for Axis. Um, like a lot of us at Axis, we have a good amount of people that have we we kind of call it raised at Axis, but we've been here a long time. So I've been at Axis a little bit over 11 years. Had multiple different roles. Started in our sales development program, doing academy recruitment. After that, moved in inside sales and supported a few different territories, being Maryland, D.C., the New York City metro area, and then moved into the RSM role about 5 years ago, supporting Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and now the greater Boston area. Um, yeah, it's been a great ride. It's an awesome company to work for, and it's great to partner with you guys as well.
Awesome. Sounds like we got the right person. Just a little bit of experience, right? Not too much. No, I'm just kidding. You got a lot of experience, so that's awesome. Um, Mike Coffey, COO of SecureWon. I have, quite the history in when it comes to security. So I actually, when back many moons ago, when I was in college, I did security. I was a security manager for big box retail. So I remember back in the day when it was VHS tapes, and you had to switch them out every 6 hours. And when you try to review a video, it was like the grainiest. It was like watching like those videos of Bigfoot, or like what could have been a Bigfoot, right? You couldn't tell what was happening at all. So I think it's interesting. I know we want to talk about a lot of, where the industry has come, and a lot about like, it's not just surveillance cameras anymore. It's like beyond. It's, campus intelligence when you really think about it, because you can do so much now when it comes to analytics and just like how everything's evolving, whether it's the technology and the threats people are facing nowadays. So
For sure. I mean, I was thinking about the other day, I was catching myself saying devices and sensors more than just saying cameras and lenses at this point, where it's not just a camera. And, from an access standpoint, we're not just only cameras, where you have intercom, speakers, air quality sensors, um,
it's like a
everything else, access control,
yeah,
you
it's like
know.
its own ecosystem now, right? Where
Yeah,
it's like, hey, yeah, the security guys they handled this. Now that responsibility typically, because everything's on the network, has been falling to the IT team, the directors of IT, the CIOs, stuff like that. So it's becoming its own ecosystem.
yeah, it really is. And like I said, it's beyond the camera at this point where, yeah, video motion detection's good and that's a technology that's always going to exist and a lot of people are going to rely on, but I think the industry and where it's going is being more proactive and learning more about each scene depending on, um, what the customer is looking for, being more proactive if someone comes onto your property after hours, not just finding out the next day that they broke in and being able to turn that video over to the police, having an alert to, you know, have a screen pop on your mobile device while you're at your house, um, have an audio message play or a strobe siren light up to kind of deter the person from trying to break in or harm that environment. So there's a lot of different things that we're doing to be more proactive, but on top of that, um, learning about your environment. You know, starting to count how many vehicles are coming onto your property, how many employees are walking through your door at what hours, and then you can start to make some decisions based on that. You know, do we need to put a gate? Do we need to add a parking lot? Do we need to widen our doors? Maybe there's always a traffic jam as far as people coming in and out of work. That could be, important for a school to know things like that. So um, it's going to let if there's a car accident, but if there's other conclusions and decisions you want to make, the data is there to be pulled as well.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, like I said, in the last 20 years, really going from VHS tapes, and I know Axis was literally the first manufacturer of the network camera, very first one. So coming from VHS to analog to now, everything's analytics and AI driven. So, John, where do you see the industry going? Like, we've come this far and made this many changes over the last 10, 20 years. What do you think the future could be?
Such a hard question to answer. Uh, as far as, obviously the direction that analytics is bringing us, being able to distinguish if that's a human, limit false alarms, and as I mentioned, being able to understand a little bit more about X environment. I would say where we're going is having more devices tied to each other. Where you're having door controllers communicating with cameras. Obviously the software itself is being able to do more push out audio messages, PA systems, announcements. We're starting to make IP clock solutions, display speakers, things like that, which can all be tied together. And these devices, now that they can talk over the network, are able to integrate and have a much more custom feel and a much more easier user interface to have it all managed. So um, I know that doesn't really answer the AI question, but I would say the integration and the full solution isn't just security driven at this point. I think there's more to it than that. I think customers now want to learn more about what's happening on their properties, and um, I think the good thing about Axis and how our products are very innovative is that the technology that we're making now is really meant to last, obviously hardware wise, but for whatever technology is going to be rolled out in the next, 5, 6, 10 years, the cameras and the devices that we're making now are set up to be able to take that on and integrate with whatever that's going to be in the future, whether that's going to be drones or I mean, facial recognition already exists, but things like that are kind of cutting edge and next level.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw something about drones on the news the other day where like local departments are using them and there's hubs throughout the city, and if they get a call, the drone can respond first. And that's 2026. So I think the future is crazy. I think analytics and AI are going to play a huge part of it, where it would take somebody, hours to review video and to find that incident, right? Now I know Access has the smart search, hey, I want to see when FedEx was here, that kind of stuff. So I think just as that continues to develop, it becomes less of a pain point to try to figure something out, where it's at your fingertips now, and the response time can be so much quicker when you're trying to really deal with an evolving threat, or something that might be happening in a live situation.
Definitely. Yeah, to add some comedy to that. So we have our sales kickoff coming up. We have it every year off site. Um, the whole company gets together. It's a good time. But one of the reasons to go is to learn about all the new products that we're going to be launching, right? So, I mean, over the years, that's been a lot of different directions. 12 years ago, really all we made were cameras, right? So, um, but having said that, you kind of never know. There could be a new avenue that Access wants to go, and so not everyone is able to make it every year. Depending, someone's sick or someone has a new child or something like that. We had an engineer; he wasn't able to go last year, and to take the picture for our company. Somebody flies a drone and takes a picture, and so we had a bunch of people sending him pictures of the drone, saying, "Oh, Axis is making their own drone. I can't believe you guys like the joke probably went on for like a month or so until we all got back. It kind of bust his chops a bit about it, but to your point, you kind of never know what direction the industry is going to be going in. I could certainly see drone technology being incorporated into
Hey, did we hear it here first? Spoiler alert.
it. Right? Yeah, you didn't hear it from me.
No, no, it's crazy. Like you say, like where could it next go, right? When you talk about that whole ecosystem, we used to leverage it, like and leveraging that stuff and that data for more than just security and more for just like threat response. It's like you mentioned, people counting. When I was in the big box retail, we would have people counters at every door. So every hour, you knew what door was the most traffic door going in and out, and it allowed you to staff appropriately, and also put like, hey, if you have a sale going on, you want to put that merchandise near your high
Oh,
traffic
exactly.
area. So
Yeah,
it's really leveraging it for the business, and then how do you make those intelligent business decisions based off of data?
for sure. Yeah, understanding the flow of traffic throughout a store too. You go into Costco, everyone's going to be going down that main aisle until they branch off. Maybe that's why the electronics, all the big TVs are right there in front of you,
Oh yeah,
right? So they
gets me
figured
every
it.
time.
They know
Yeah,
what they're doing.
that and there,
We
was
need
it a
more.
$1.99 hot dog? Gets me every time. Uh,
Yeah, right. Yeah, the massive pizza, chicken bake. Don't even get me going on Costco food.
I know, and all this stuff, like when you talk, I know we deal a lot within schools, private schools, like that's all information that they can then use to make sure that they're staffing appropriately. That is there any
Right.
doors or there's any places that become hotspots using heat mapping and stuff like that to make sure that you have the correct amount of staffing throughout, and you're not leaving some place unsecured.
Exactly.
If John, a question: if you were, to give an advice to someone just starting in their journey, right? They have no history of surveillance, security, any of this stuff, and they want to just really, start implementing it. What would be your first things that you would help them or to get them started with? What would you say their first direction should be?
A lot of our integrators, new hires, first call they make is to us. We need to send somebody up. We need to get them acclimated to what you guys do because it translates within the industry.
Hmm?
You know, um, can't obviously touring the facility, letting them know about the partnership and all the resources and benefits that come along with that. Even the tools right on Access.com are huge.
Yeah.
I use them every day. A lot of people use them every single day. So they're pretty intuitive. Where someone who's never really touched it could probably filter down the portfolio and product selector, things like that. Um,
I'm,
Obviously, the site designer
John,
tool is
I use it, so I'm gonna say that anybody can use it. All right, I
yeah,
can I can
exactly.
figure out the site designer, which is a great tool.
I didn't say
Um,
anything,
yeah. No, but it's
but
very user friendly.
I think when anytime you talk to somebody from Access, it's going to be support and resources because that's really how we partner.
I like that. For schools, and whether it's a school or a business, and they want to start on this journey themselves, right? And we talk about first step, get it, let's help get them educated, or what's out there, what systems, because a lot of times they'll have a problem and they'll be like trying to find a solution to it, where like talking to someone like you or talking to a partner, they'd be like, oh, this would be the perfect solution to help you solve the problem that you have. If they're talking like, I really want to secure our buildings, maybe the first step is not cameras, maybe that's access control, that kind of stuff. So really making sure that, you talk with a professional about what your solution needs are.
Yeah, it could be. And I mean, this is where we work together so well. Where you know, customer has an issue, and it's really about listening at that point. What are their problems? What do you actually need to solve here? Because it's not just the most expensive high resolution camera or whatever, device that is new and greatest. It could be something that we've been doing for a long time that, could really be a game changer in their environment. And that's why I think it is so powerful to bring in customers to the experience center because, like I always say, we can't think for them. If they come in and we're, talking about a device or a camera or whatever technology in an application that we're thinking of or something that we see it used as, they can wrap their head around it in an entirely different way to use it to solve some other problem that we weren't even thinking of. So that's why more times than not, after maybe walking a site or even putting this design together, even after maybe they're happy and there's really no need for them to even talk to us again, I still try to get people to the experience center because I think it can open their eyes to just some of the other ways, um, we can integrate into their world and help them, be more efficient and smarter and safer.
And I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, John, but I mean, it's not. I know we have a great experience center, and your headquarters for North America or the Americas over in Chelmsford, Mass. But there are experience centers throughout the nation, right? Even even internationally. So there's always, no matter where you are, there's a place to go to see this.
For sure, yeah. I mean, we're obviously a global company, Swedish company. You talk to anybody from Axis, they're probably going to bring that up too. Um, but yeah, I think we're up to 18 experience centers across the states now. I don't know what the number is globally. I want to say like maybe 60, something like that. Um, but yeah, it's a huge resource for not only the sales offices, but we have visitors from Sweden all the time. People that want to learn more about what we do and what our customers are doing real time here in the states. So that's a great opportunity too, and we've had a great success doing that when product managers with X technology could be box style cameras, could be body worn cameras, whatever the case is, where they come over and they actually want to listen to our customers. They're trying to improve the product, and that's another way that we really do get better each and every year is listening to our end customers and our integrators on how can this how can this camera be installed more efficiently? Why is it hard for you to install this? Or what technology would be beneficial for you guys to see next? Um, when you're configuring something, you know, there could be something that happens that was a huge, roadblock for them, and we want to hear about that too. And I think there's no better person to bring in than the person who works on that specific product every single day. So we've had the opportunity to do that a lot, especially being at our HQ in Chelmsford. 'Cause that's usually their first stop, being from Sweden and all.
I mean, I'll tell you, John, there's one thing that I always enjoy when I visit the Experience Center in Chelmsford. And I mean, I know I love seeing you and I love seeing the technology, but those Swedish candies, they get me every time.
Yeah, I know, right? They keep them stocked. I've been trying to push for because we obviously have like the swag giveaways, we bring in. But I've been pushing for just like bowls of candy that we can bring into our partners. I think everybody would probably remember that more than the umbrella or the squishy ball or the pens and stuff we
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
in.
yeah.
So
Don't tell my doctor, but I'd definitely take the bowl of candy over a squishy ball.
yeah,
Just throwing
right.
it out there.
Work on
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I know. As far as you, I mean, you've been at SecureWon for a couple years now,
Couple
year and a
years.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So how's that journey been for you?
It's been great. It's been great getting to work with some of the best people out there. I've known Wayne, our CEO, since we were kids. So being able to work with a lifetime friend and really help really grow and take our initiative and really run with it. What I love about where we're at now is that we call ourselves like client obsessed, right? So we look at everything through the lens of the client, like you were talking about, bringing people in and really trying to understand what they're going through to help make things better. We always look at feedback as a great thing. Um, and if there's anything that we can do to help, we look at ourselves not as a vendor to somebody, but as their partner. We want to be a resource that, you're not just calling us in bad times, that, you're calling us when you want to spitball ideas or how do you future-proof something. So we really like to think ourselves as a partner versus a vendor for somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not just looking for a transaction. You want to be there long term.
Yep.
So yeah, no, it's been great. Appreciate you inviting me on your podcast, and maybe we can do it again sometime. I know we got some good things coming up in the future. So
I
yeah,
think we absolutely make this a series.
yeah,
The
right.
DeVito Coffee One-on-One. No, no, it was awesome having you, John. I think this is great things or great topics to keep talking about. As we talked about, it continues to change. The technology changes. We're putting AI in everything nowadays, right? So I know you guys just launched a AI-driven server for analytics. So I know that's a
Correct.
big part.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because the kind of the questions being asked, the answers are going to change every year as the industry develops and more technology, and there's going to be more ways for people to use it. There could be, I've already talked about, outside of security applications, but there could be companies that don't even care about, recording video for safety or for preventing an attack, things like that, and are just using them for operational purposes, to learn more about X technology, whatever the case is. So, um, yeah, I think we unpacked a lot, and I think that if we did this again, especially with our kickoff coming up in the next couple weeks, I may have some even different answers for you.
Yeah, I can't wait for our event. I believe it's on the 12th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
And part of everything we kind of went over today, I think the main big thing takeaway for me is how we've gone to a reactive system, camera, DVR, reviewing tapes, whatever that is, to now being proactive, taking the data, taking the analytics, and being able to be proactive with it versus reacting after something has happened.
for
How
sure.
can you resolve a vulnerability, physical security vulnerability, if you might not even know it exists? Taking data to really leverage that and close that vulnerability before it becomes an issue.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's that's the direction the industry is going.
Well, I like
Yeah,
it. I like it, John. Thank you again so much. It was always great chatting with you.
yeah, you too, man.